in a minute. So I just sent them thank you for being here. We will be opening in a minute. I think we should open already.
Go ahead. It's 9:30. You can let them in.
Thelma,
Yes.
go.
Oh, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be getting started with our presentation shortly. We just want to give everybody a chance to log in and get set up. So this is Interim Workshop 1. Our presenters this morning are Microsoft, and then this afternoon, starting around 11 o'clock, will be a chance to meet with challenge sponsors. So be patient with us while we get everybody logged in, and we'll be starting shortly. Again, welcome for joining us. We're hoping to start around 9:35. We just want to give everybody an opportunity to log in and get all set up. Today, Microsoft will be speaking in the morning. We will ask that you have your questions ready. We will be explaining how to do that shortly. Otherwise, give us a few more minutes when we let other people log in. Okay, it looks like our participant count has stabilized, so let's get started. Microsoft has a lot of great stuff to share with you today, and so I don't want to delay that start. But I have a few minor housekeeping things to go over. Again, thank you so much for coming to Interim Workshop 1, Microsoft and Challenge sponsor meetings. I do want to reiterate who our presenters for this event are. This is the HACC's 5th year, and we would not be here at all if it were not for the hard work of the ETS and the state and the governor for promoting and supporting this event. So I really want to say a big mahalo to ETS and the state of Hawaii and the governor for making this event even possible. So today's agenda, as I stated a little earlier, is at approximately 9:30, Microsoft's presentation of rapid application development with Microsoft's Power Platform, a crash course. Our instructor today is Joe Clancy. Joe has spent 9 years. Joe, why don't you take over the share screen? Hang on, let me do that for you while I introduce you.
Sure.
While Joe's bringing up his screen, I will introduce who Joe is. Joe Clancy has spent 9 years as an engineer building the workflow engine behind SharePoint workflows, and then Power Automate, Power Apps, and the Common Data Service. He has a passion for product telemetry, compliance, and security topics, and loves modeling business processes, something very important. He's on a 2-year placement as a technical specialist for business applications in state and local government, supporting Power Platform adoption in the Pacific Northwest. And please take over, Joe. Welcome.
Sure thing. Thanks. Appreciate it, Thelma. That's awesome intro. I'm excited to get going today. What we're going to do is build out an entire scenario. So some data, some schema, on 2 different user interfaces on top of that, a business process, and then hopefully, if we have some time, a bit of reporting on top at the end of that. Now, everybody on this call has the opportunity to sign up for a trial tenancy so that you could do this as well. Now, I wouldn't encourage doing that as I build the material. It'll be a little more effective if this is a sort of a show and tell sort of thing rather than building in parallel. But the recording will be available, and you can refer to that later if you do want to build out something like this. We're aiming to show off all the different features of the platform for building out basic apps, for getting going without writing code. And so that's the major strength of this platform. I'm going to go at a fairly brisk pace. I will try to explain not just what I'm doing, but the intent behind what I'm doing. I encourage you to interrupt if something is not clear. I'll be checking the chat once in a while. If there's, you can certainly address questions that way. With that, let's get going. Okay, so let me introduce the pieces of the Power Platform. We have in the middle, Power Apps. That's the star of the show. Power Apps are ways of building apps or user interface quickly without code. So Power Apps can be hosted on top of data stores that you know already, things like SQL databases, things like SharePoint lists, if you're familiar with that, or Oracle or competing databases, if you like. We're going to be building things out on the Common Data Service. That is the business-aware data platform for Power Apps, and it's a really natural fit for a rapid application development platform. You don't have to build that way. So you could platform your app on SQL or Oracle if you wanted to, and a lot of the same concepts will apply. On the right is Power Automate. Now, Power Automate is a rules engine or workflow engine that lets you listen to signals, things like the presence of a new record or an incoming email, or other automated triggers like that, and then implement conditional logic and automation that lets you decide or take action upon those signals. The simplest example and the most common one for a business scenario is an approval. So you create a new record somewhere and you want that to result in an approval being raised against someone else. So against your boss or against a set of people that own some asset. Approvals involve email. You get an email prompt saying, this thing now exists. Would you like to approve it or reject it? I'll give your comments about it. And then the workflow can continue and maybe touch other resources as well. Maybe write back to that same data store or do something else like send a text message or drop a row in a different database somewhere. It can be a bridge between different data stores. Now, the last leg of the Power Platform is Power BI on the left. And that is a powerful reporting and visualization tool that lets you look at your data stores and summarize and aggregate to provide value on top of that data that lives there. We're going to do a little bit of that as well. Bottom left, data connectors. So there are connectors that can go out to now it's 250 or so connectors to all sorts of places. Things like data stores that you may know, consumer places like Facebook or Twitter, or Dropbox perhaps. And so if you have a need to integrate any of those places with data in the Power Platform, no problem. You can reach into that and do that. All right. So the kind of scenario we're going to build out today is I live in Seattle, and every year, except this year for reasons you can probably imagine, we do the United Way organization does what they call the Day of Caring. And so a lot of different employers participate in that. And what they do is they offer their employees the day off to offer their volunteer time to any number of organizations that want help. And that's not just the United Way. I mean, it can be soup kitchens, it can be the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. It can be any sort of situation where there's a need to help a charity or nonprofit. Now, you can imagine this is an interesting coordination problem. You have two sets of people here. You have participants that are looking for something to do. They want to take the day off from their work and help something, but they don't know what's available. So you want to have sort of a list of events and pick from them and choose them. The other side of it is you may wish to organize an event yourself and post its availability and recruit people, publicize it, and bring people on board to help your favorite nonprofit. So we're going to build this out. We're going to build out both halves of this, and then maybe do a little bit of reporting on the overall participation and who showed up. All right. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to introduce sort of a data type view of looking at this. Now, you could think, well, what's a way of doing this coordination work in the absence of the Power Platform or rapid application development? You could do something like an Excel sheet, right? You have something like this where you have a list of things going on and the locations and maybe somebody who's organizing it, a contact who can tell you when it starts and when to show up and so on. And then you can manually sort of maintain a list of participants. Or if you're tricky, you could do a second worksheet and sort of link it to there and have a list of participants hanging off of that. We're going to use this as the basis of our schema. So we're going to build a data store that can represent this. If I can just go forward here. Yeah, so let's build out something that does I'm going to find an event to participate in on the left. And then when they sign up, when someone expresses interest, I want to go to this first thing. The organizer is going to get a mail saying, you have a participant interested in showing up. Would you like to approve their joining? And maybe there's conditions behind it. And maybe you have events where only people you know are welcome to sign up. Or maybe there's other criteria that you want to evaluate before accepting someone. And then, so this is our approval process. We're going to listen for a signal in our database and then go through this sort of business process to do that record keeping. Okay. So, and then, yeah, we'll build out some reporting behind it. So that shows each piece of it. And I want you to think about this in a more generalized way. I mean, yes, we're building out an app to address this workload. But the techniques I'm showing should work if you apply them towards the challenges or in other cases, right? Just towards generalized business processes. Right? So here is our schema. This is the data. Now, if you can look at this, this is a sort of a formal entity relationship diagram. If you're used to working in a database kind of form, these are different tables. And I have a table for an event. As you can imagine, that maps exactly onto this Excel sheet over here. That I have a list of fields. They have data types attached to them. Now, in here, you notice I have participants and an organizer. Those are people. Now, I recorded on the Excel sheet, I just put an email address. When you're using the Power Platform and Power Apps, you have access to the local Active Directory tree, which is a list of people in your organization. And I'm going to make use of that. I'm going to exploit that because I don't just want an email, I want their name and maybe look up their org chart to see who they report to, or send them a text on their phone. So I'm going to use that rather than just like a loose text field for email. Now, that's the sort of the base, where we're starting from. I'm going to express a participant in this way. So I'm going to have a row or a record per sign up or participant that's interested. And it's going to have some ID against it. There is going to refer back to the event, and it's going to have an approval status. At the beginning, it'll be the requested status. And whether or not the organizer says yes or no, they'll get approved or rejected. And then, of course, we have the participant. They're the person expressing interest in joining. So we are going to create these two entities, and let's get to that. Okay, I'm just going to checkpoint there. Any questions on this? If I want to just look at the meeting info, there we go. Yeah, and any questions, do let me know, and I can stop and explain things further. Okay. So let's start. I'm going to go out to the home of things in a Microsoft tenant, office.com. And I'm going to go out to find Power Apps. So I can see all my different apps here. I have Outlook for Mail and Word for Documents. I'm going to go to Power Apps. Okay. When I go there, this is the Power Apps designer experience. So this is my place to build apps. I'm going to start with an entity. So that is my table or the place to put data. And something I should draw your attention to, I have an environment, and that is sort of a silo. It has its own database attached to it, and it has apps built on top of it. And in a production scenario, you'd want to have different environments for different workloads, usually. So here's a list of existing entities. I have things, I'm going to make use of the user entity. That's the Active Directory user. That includes all the people in my organization. And I'm going to make a new one for Day of Caring event. Okay, so that's my table name. Event name is a fine primary field. And so when I hit done, think of that as my create table statement, if you're thinking in a SQL sense. Or if you're in a kind of a SharePoint way, it's I'm establishing a new SharePoint list. There's a sort of analogous concept. So I have a name. I'm going to go back to my schema and think about the different kind of fields I'm going to add to it. I have a nonprofit. So that's the organization that hosts it. So profit, great. And what else do I have? I have, a logo. I'd like to have something attractive when I build my app out. I want to show a logo that represents the org. So I'll build that out, logo. And a logo can be a little bit bigger than just the 100 default characters. So I'll let it be 1,000, okay. And then what else do I have? I have a location, capacity, and committed in terms of people, right? That there's room for 15 people at this and no one yet has signed up, okay. So let's add a location. There we are. And a capacity. Now, capacity is not a text field. It is a number. Very good. And committed, the number of people that have been accepted to it. Okay. Super. So I'm going to save those. Oh, I've got one more thing. I have a organizer of this event. My organizer is a person, so they're not a text field. They are what we call a lookup. So think of a lookup as a foreign key relationship to another entity. So I'm going to look up a person. In this case, I'm scrolling way down, and I've got a user is my my person. And this user contains all the people in this Active Directory instance. So you'd have everyone in your organization. Just like if you're in Outlook and you were sending a mail to someone in your org, you get completion of people who are there. Okay, now you might say, well, what are all these other fields? I've got a bunch of fields I didn't ask for. Things like the created by and the modified on and all that sort of thing. Those are fields that I get in the Common Data Service in an infrastructural sense. And they give me things like an auditing trail of who's done what over time. And they support sort of this business aware database. So right now, here I am. I'm saving this. Think of this as an alter table statement, if you're familiar with the SQL or Oracle model. And that's running away right now. And so once I've saved this, this will look like this entity right here, all right? Including the organizer relationship to Active Directory user. Okay. Saving, saving, saving. That's taking a while. Let that go. So yeah, next up, I am going to create a participant entity, and then I'll build this linkage between them. Okay. Saving. Sometimes this can take quite some time, so we'll let that run. Let's see. One thing I'm going to, after I've built out my schema, I'm going to start to build the beginnings of a user interface that lets me interact with it. And there are two flavors of that. One is a forms over data kind of view, which is just very similar to this Excel kind of tabular view. And once we've got that right, then we can sort of enter in a few event examples. After that, I'm going to build up a Canvas Power Up, which is that more beautiful, natural, sort of mobile first view. So,
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, oh, we have some chats.
Yep, we have a question from Harold. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Is there a way to view the changes you've just made to the relationships?
To check our work, yeah.
Okay,
absolutely. Yeah, thank you. There is, yeah. So if I want to see what I've done here, first of all, I have a list of all of these. I can see that what organizer is a lookup field, but I can also go to this relationships tab. So this relationships tab tells me what are the foreign key relationships with this field. Now I get all these infrastructural ones, so I can see that audit trail, but I also see that organizer here is a many-to-one relationship. I can have one user who is the organizer of possibly many different events. All right, is that helpful? Great.
So Harold, let us know, give us a thumbs up or.
All right, just going to chat again. Okay. Oh, very good. Awesome. Thanks, Harold. Okay, so here's my event and the fields within it. I'm going to now make another entity for the participant side. So I will call it Day of Caring Participants. Okay, and there's my name. I'm actually going to call it ID as the primary field because I want some concept of being able to identify it uniquely. Great, and then let's add a few fields to this. So the first one is I will add what the event is. And so of course the event is a lookup backwards to a Day of Caring event. There we are. Oh, thank you, dear. Awesome, we have a nice coffee here. Gorgeous, thanks. Okay, and so there we go. We have that. Okay, I also need a lookup to the participant. So this is the person signing up for the event. And so that's a lookup to user in the same way that the organizer was. Okay, so where's user? I have lots of stuff in here. There we are, user, there we are. Okay, great. event user, and I've got one other thing, which is the, sorry, where was I? Here. I want, oh, an approval. Yeah, what the approval status is, if it's requested, approved, or rejected. So let's add that field as well. And there's a number of different patterns you could do here. You could have, I'm just going to have it a text field to keep it straightforward. You could turn this into what you might think of as an enum, if you're a C# or Java kind of person, and have a fixed set of options. I'm just going to do it text to keep the logic simple, but you may wish to constrain it that way. Okay, so let's save that. So now I have, once that's committed, I'm going to have this full relationship. This ER diagram will be done. And then I can start building out some user interface on top of it. Okay, so the first bit of user interface I want to define a view. So a tabular view, that's going to look a lot like our Excel sheet. So a view is a way of representing the data in columns. And once that's saved, I'll go about defining that. And it's going to be the basis of what we call a model-driven app, which is that forms over data view. This is a heavy commit today, isn't it? Let's see. I'm just going to wait for it to complete there. And here is our ER diagram. Yeah, so I'm going to build up a view of event, as well as a form for it. Now, a form, it lets me look at and edit a single record. Form is the other half of the user interface, comprising my model-driven app. If you're used to building an access database, it's not dissimilar to the user interface you build in Access. I might just get a second browser up. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. And yeah, so let's look at the views. Now we have a default view called active participants. And I'm going to edit this. So this is my view designer. Now my default view is kind of boring. It's got, oh, sorry, I've got the participants view. Oh, we could build this out. The things I care about are the event, who signed up for it, and the approval status. I don't really care when this record was created. I'm going to size these just to fit my screen nicely. Okay, so I'm going to save and publish that.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Unless you're going to do it again, got a comment. I missed how you got the ER diagram.
Good question. So I just built that. I drew this in Visio, or you could do this on a napkin or on a whiteboard. So I mean, in a sense, it's an important, a crucial step, is if you start with a business process, thinking about how it would look like on a piece of paper or in an Excel sheet is a really good way of getting started. Because yeah, I mean, that's not something you get for free in a low code world. You have to invest in thinking about how to represent this data.
So just to make sure, it is not part of the application, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is just my my notes on how I'm going to build this thing up. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, good question. All right, so I've got a view, and now I'm going to build a form that lets me see a record and edit or add a new one. So that was a view. I'm going to do a form. I have a few different forms, but my main form is the one that I care about. So I'm going to do that over here. And so I now have a screen that I can drop things onto that lets me edit this. It's just loading up. Okay, here we are. Yep. So as I create a new participant or edit an existing one, I don't care about this owner, so I'm going to hide that field. away it goes. And we have, I'm going to choose an event. I'm clicking on the fields here. I have a participant and approval status there. Okay. So let's save and publish that. There's a few more. I could make it a little more attractive. I could size it. I don't care. I'm here. Let me make it a little bigger so you can see. This is the sort of the functional backend interface for adding records and looking at them. I'm going to turn this into basically my administrative app, my app for sort of running this overall day of caring event. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to do the same now for day of caring events. I'm going to define a view and a form. So my events, let's define that view. My active ones, great. So I want to have some sort of view here. I don't care, I'm not going to show the logo. I'm going to remove that. The name of the event is pretty important. It's location. The nonprofit, maybe my nonprofit is actually more important. I'll put that left. Okay. The capacity, the committed, and the organizer. So I get some view of how full it is and who's running it. Very good. Sorry, I want to drag this outwards. Yeah. Okay. So, and you notice this looks a lot like Excel, right? This is just a list of column headings. I don't have any rows of data yet because I have an empty database. Okay, so I saved and published that. I'm going to go back now and edit that form. And once I've done that, then I'm going to have all the pieces I need to actually interact with this data. Okay, so editing the main form for my event. Now this is not really lively, exciting part. This is just sort of defining some data and how it's shown. The real fun, I think, is building out a Canvas Power App, a more attractive view for the end users. So we'll get there. You have to invest in this to be able to get there. All right, so the nonprofit, the location, a logo, capacity and committed, and an organizer as well. Now I can do one more thing. On this view of my event, I'm going to add a list of participants underneath, which is showing that relational structure. I want to show the participants that are hanging off of this. I'm going to do that with a new component, which we call a subgrid. So that's another tabular list of things. I'm going to show the related records for participants. Okay. And so there they are. So I get this, and that's the view that I defined. If you remember, I had ID, event, participant, and approval hanging off of it. So let's save and publish that. And we should be able to start entering some data. Right? So there's my form. Great. Okay. Let's now go to our data tab. So this is just sort of like if you think of SQL Management Studio, a way of looking at what data is there, and I can add a record. If I do that, I'm going to get that form that I just designed. Here it is. Okay. And let's see. Let's actually steal the details off of here. We'll do window washing at Aloha United Way. It's in Honolulu. And I'll just copy its logo. Now this is a link to a logo. You could embed the image itself here if you wanted. There's a different type of field for that. And I'm going to be the organizer because, well, I want the approvals to go to myself. Okay, so let's save that. So now as I commit that record, I can see that I have a list of possible participants running off of it, which is interesting. So I could add a participant right now. That's creating a related record. And here I'm adding something here. We'll say it's participant number 1, I can look up my directory and pick, I don't know, Brett might be my participant. And I'm going to call it approved. Just I'm the administrator, I can do that sort of thing. Okay. So now I have this relational thing, and I can go back. And I have now a list of participants running off of this. You notice that I invested very lightly in building out this interface, and already I have this fully relational structure for building out records like this. And I've not rigged up the logic to increment capacity and committed. I'll do that in a second after I build out the other interface. So that's the beginning. Now you could say this is kind of lame. I have to go to this data tab to get here. That's not really an app, is it? So I can define an app to show these 2 different types of data. And we're going to do that right now. We're going to call it our administrative app for the day of caring. That is a model-driven app. So this is that forms over data thing. We'll build a Canvas app shortly after. So my new model-driven app, this is the model-driven app designer. And all I'm going to do is point it at those 2, so we'll call it day of caring admin. Okay, defaults are fine. And I'm going to define sort of what the app looks like by defining a sitemap. We'll just call this day of caring with our group. So a group of things called admin stuff. And underneath that, let's edit and show our 2 different entities. We have our day of caring event. I'm going to add another one, which is our day of caring participant. This sort of completes the design of a administrative view of this. I will publish that. And then we'll save that, and I need to publish that. Okay, yep. And now I can play it. And so this is something that I could share with the administrators of the overall day of caring. So when someone wants to build out or create a new event, they get this. I can add, maybe I'll add the second one right now. I'll add the Boys and Girls Club window washing event. Where am I here? Hold on. Why can't I edit this record? What's going on here? What's happened to my browser? Sorry, I just had a, oh, there we go. Sorry, my browser just froze for a second there. I'm gonna go back. There we go. Okay, there's my record. Interior painting at the Boys and Girls Club. Oh, that's in Maui. Okay, and my logo, I get some sort of a theme. And I think we got 8 people there and none committed, and I'll be the organizer again. Okay. So there we go. I'm gonna add the last one because I do want a few events here at the Girl Scouts. And logo, that'll be Honolulu as well. Okay. And I don't know, there's only 5 there. Okay, so there we go. And I could manually sign up a participant as well, which I'll do. I don't know, I'll sign someone up for this guy. So I can go here and like add a participant to this related event. Okay, who's that gonna be? We're gonna add, I don't know, maybe Doug would work well. Okay. Outstanding. Okay. And again, I'm doing that manually, but I'll rig up the automation to do that as well. Okay. So that's our basis for. I've just built out the sort of the back end of all of this. Okay. Any questions there? Because my next bit of fun, I'm going to build out a Canvas app, which is the thing that anyone in my organization could run to sign up for an event. So this is the reason I'm choosing sort of this dual structure of having a backend based on data and forms. It was very easy building this up, very straightforward. I'm going to invest a bit more heavily in the look and appearance of the participant one, because that's going to be seen by a much broader audience. Maybe 10 times or 50 times as many people are going to run the app to pick an event and choose to participate. So I want that to be smooth and nice. I'm going to have a lot more control over it, but it's going to take a bit more investment in the appearance. Okay. So let's do that. Let's build out what we call a Canvas Power App for the participants. Okay. So I'm going to make a new app, a new Canvas Power App. And so I can pick any sort of data source. I built this out using the Common Data Service. I'm going to use the phone layout. You could do a tablet layout. That just sort of, it optimizes the aspect ratio for different devices. But I can run my phone layout here in a web browser if I want to. Okay. And so I'm going to create a connection there. And I should get a list of entities to pick from. And I care about events. So the thing I'm going to start with is a list of events. And I'm going to want to render that view. Let someone browse through them and see what's available. So this wizard shows me what we call a 3-screen view. So I have, I can browse events. The next screen down, after I've picked one, shows me that record for the detail of one event. And then I could edit one. I'm gonna remove that last screen because the experience I want is I'll pick an event, we'll go to its detail, then we'll have a sign up button that says, I want to participate. Please request my participation. Let's make this a little more attractive here. We call this a gallery control, which is that tabular list. You can see it analogous to the view that we made on the model-driven side earlier. This is actually not so bad. I think, yeah, I've got the location. Let's go and I actually want, I want to put the image on it. So I'm gonna put that logo. So I've got this, I can choose what fields go here. And I have a logo, don't I? Yeah, I do. There we are. Okay, so I get that. Interesting that the Girl Scouts one is not showing up. I think I know why that is. It might be because I'm gonna, let's use, I'm in the Northwest. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's a transparent PNG kind of thing. So it can be visible if I do something like that. I'll do like, that's all right. I could invest in picking a better logo perhaps. Do steel, that's not so bad. Yeah, okay. So I've got this, that's great. And I like that layout. You can do all sorts of different sort of optimizations here. Maybe instead of saying that here, actually, let me remove this. I'll move it down. I want to see who the organizer is, so you can imagine who you'd contact. So organizer dot full name, I think. Yeah. This is a Excel-like syntax for rendering this. And if I go like this, I might say the nonprofit and I'll just do a space, maybe like in this item dot location as an idea. So it lets you compose whatever you like this. It's wrapping kind of unpleasantly. Let me just move that over so it looks a little better. How's that? There we go. Cool. I can adjust word wrap as well, I think. And that's actually not bad. That looks okay. So yeah, I could run this. And so I have a nice sort of responsive app. So I can dive in. I could adjust how this form appears. And I could offer editing of this, although I think I'm going to turn that off because I don't want participants to be able to edit these things. So I'll remove that screen. And then the next thing we'll do is we're going to introduce a sign up button, which lets me then express interest in participating. So on my detail screen here, okay, let's sort of reorder this. I'm going to put, okay, the name. There we go, the location. Okay, capacity and committed. Okay, that's good enough. And I mean, I could change any aspect of this. You can do, you have complete control over that. And I'm going to add a button here. So I'm going to add a button, a big shiny button that says, what should it say? Something like that, right? So I want to participate, okay? I'm going to turn off this edit control. And actually, I'm going to undo that, sorry. I'll make this not visible. Just easier to do that. And what we got here, edit this. Oops, false, please. Ha, there we go. Super, and I'll move this one over so that I don't want to have a delete option either. So I'm going to remove that. I don't want people to be able to remove that. Okay, so they have no way of getting to this third screen. So I'll just remove that. I don't need a third screen. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, this is saying navigate somewhere. Oh, that's fine. That screen doesn't exist now, so that solves that problem. Okay. What else do we have? Edit form 1. Oh yeah, that doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah, I'm referencing things that I just deleted. So okay, so request my participation. What do you think this button should do? This is going to insert a row or add a row into my, if I go back to my schema, I want to add a row of the participant with the right kind of things. It's going to have an event, it's going to have an approval status of requested, and it's going to link to myself as the participant. So I know all the answers of what this record is going to be. So I can codify what that record looks like attached to this button. Okay. After I click it, I want to show something. What kind of thing do I want to show? Well, I'm going to, let's see here. Maybe I will, oh, what's this? There we go. I don't need an edit form. That's fine. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, the new button I want to turn off because we're not letting people create new event records either. Did that work? Hold on. Visible equal. I thought I said false. There we go. Okay. Super.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I've got another one. When you
Oh,
get
super.
when you get a chance, please briefly show the schema image.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're most welcome to screen cap that, and I'll go right here. Do keep in mind you have the recording available after this, so you could refer back if you needed to. Yeah, so this is what we just built out.
Great, thanks. Harold says
sure.
thanks.
Yeah, our pleasure. Okay. Oh, great. So I've got my browse screen. I've got a detail screen. Yeah, let's make a new screen, which will be shown at the end, which says, thanks for signing up. And let's add, I don't know, label. You notice I have complete control over every aspect of this. Let's make it a little bigger, right? Let's make it, I don't know, 36 and sort of boldish. And maybe we'll say text label. Say something like the event organizer will be in contact with details of, I don't know, when to show up, where and when to show up, right? And any other requirements like equipment. Super. Okay. Let's add a button here, which navigates us to the beginning. You might want to sign up for more than one event. Okay. And so I get to say what unselects. That's the gesture of clicking the button. Where is it going to go? It's going to navigate to browse screen 1, which is the beginning. There we go. Let's see how this goes. I have detail screen. Oh, I have not rigged up this button to do anything yet. We're going to want to navigate to the new screen 1 there. Okay. Let's see if it works. So if I run this app, this is what people will see when they get it. I've only got 3 events. Let's pick interior painting at the Boys and Girls Club. Click on request my participation, and we get something. Oops, I have spelled home wrong. Okay, does it go back? It does go back. Good. Okay, so I'm testing out my UI. Things are looking decent. I'll fix this error. Of course, it is best practice to give things descriptive names. So instead of screen 1, let's rename that to, I don't know, thank you banner. And you'll note that if I go here, this has been, the rename has been successful all the way through. Okay, so we have one more thing to do here. We need to, when we click this button, not only navigate to the last screen, but actually insert that record into the database. So there are a number of patterns allowing me to do that. I'm going to use, I'm going to cheat a little bit based on past notes. And so I have, this is a pattern that lets me create a new record against the defaults of that record type with a few extra fields. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay. And I'll describe each part of that so that it's sensible. So I've got that navigate at the end. Let's, before I do that navigation, run some stuff. Okay, so patch participants. I don't yet have a reference to participants. That's not even known to this app. I have to introduce that concept as a data source. Okay, so I'm going to add the entity for day of caring participants here. There we are. I think I just clicked on it, or maybe double click. There we go. Yeah. So by doing that, I'm, oh, I don't want contacts, sorry. By adding participants, then I have the ability to interact with that record type. So I'm saying, okay, insert a record with the defaults of this, but then edit the record with some other details. So let's do that right now. Oops, sorry. So I don't really care about this event ID or a participation request ID. That's not important to me. I do want my event to be the thing that was selected on the first screen. I want my participant to be the person running the app. So the person running the app is user.email. That's the text field. What I'm doing is I'm using that text field to look up in the user's entity the full record. So it's pointing at the real thing. So I have access to their full name and their phone number, all those details. I'm going to add one more thing just to sort of complete the picture. I want to add approval. I'm going to say it's requested. So I'm just going to hard code that here in the app. And if it was a enum type, like the option set, I would have that choice instead. Okay. And I still want to navigate to the thank you banner at the end. So let us try that. So now that I've got my app, I'm going to request, maybe I'll do the window washing event. I'm going to request it, click, okay. And so it seemed like something happened. It sort of paused there. Let's go and find out what happens. So I'm going to go back to my my app over here, and I'm going to play my administrative app and see, what did I signed up for window washing? Let's look at window washing. And indeed, oh look, Joe Clancy just signed up for it, and it's in the requested state. Okay. I did not increment committed because it's not approved yet. So this remains accurate so far. So, I mean, this is the process for building out a Canvas Power App. It's a lot of fun. Sorry, let me go. Yeah, it's fun. It's very, you can build some beautiful user interfaces if you want to, but you have to think a lot more, right? I have to, every click and every gesture, every scrolling thing that I'm doing here, I have to control what happens. The wizard helped me. It says select parent, then I go here, and I've got some, when I click on the parent record, it's going to navigate, right, down to, yeah, go to the detail screen. So all that plumbing was helped for me by that wizard. But I can build out some really beautiful, awesome things. This is mobile first. This view is really nice. If I was to go onto my mobile device right now, I could, actually I should save my app. I haven't done that yet, so let's save it. Caring participant. There we are. Let's save it. Super, save it into the cloud. Okay, and now this is something I could share with people in my organization. I could share it with, typically once you've got it built out, you want to share it with everybody. So I could use the word everyone here. So everyone in the whole organization, I would give the access to run this app. Okay. So how does it work on mobile? So what I do is on my iOS or Android device, I would install what we call the Power Apps Player or Runtime. So if you just look for the word Power Apps in the App Store, you'll see that there. And the next thing you'll do is sign in. So I'm signed in against my identity at this organization. And once you've done that, then you'll be able to get a list of all the apps that were shared with you. So it's not like there's a installable app for this particular app that I've built out. It's the Power Apps Runtime app that lets you run any app that's been shared with you. Any questions there? Because our next stop is going to be out in Power Automate, where we're going to listen to the signal of, there's a new record here, I want to do an approval. Okay.
Yes, we have one question. Do I need to be in a certain organization?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, Ramesh. So all of this is cloud-based and in the context of your tenancy of whatever org you're logged in as right here. And so for you as participants, in our Slack channel, the Microsoft Slack channel, there's a link for how you can sign up for your own organization, just in a trial sense, to build this out. You'll have that for at least 30 days for the duration of the hack. And then that gives you a place where you have a directory full of people, including yourself, and you can build out apps like this and share them with other members of that org. Certainly. You could also invite, what's nice is you can use the Azure B2B pattern. You could invite external people into that organization if you wanted to. So that's kind of fun that way. Thank you. Okay, so let's think about our business process here. So I have a new participant record. It's in the requested state. What I want to have happen is I want to send an email note to the organizer. In this case, it's myself. I want to say, oh, look, this guy, this person signed up for your event. Do you want to approve their participation or say no and give them an explanation why? And dependent on that approval, if they say yes, then we want to go ahead and we're going to commit an update to the approval field and say it's approved now. We'll also increment the committed number, right? We'll make that one number higher to make that record be consistent. Okay. So you can imagine, I mean, if you think of just in an Excel sheet way, the first thing we did was we put someone like Joe is interested, but we didn't approve it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say Joe is committed if the organizer agrees, and we're going to increment this number. So we're going to do that business process right now using Power Automate. Okay, let me just undo that. Okay, so time to go over to Power Automate. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy building out Power Automate workflows. Here we are. So yeah, I'm in the flows section of the designer. I'm going to make a new one. We're going to do an automated workflow, which means it's going to listen to some signal. What is the trigger or thing that I'm going to do? Well, we're going to say new day of caring participant request. Did I spell that right? Participant. There we go. And what is my signal? What is the thing that I want to? So we're going to say when record, and I have all sorts. These are all the connectors I was talking about. I can connect to all sorts of different data stores, Microsoft ones and external ones as well. But I'm going to use this common data service. That's where my data lives. We're going to say when a record is created, the trigger condition is on create. Of which entity? Well, I'm going to pick it. I'm going to pick my day of caring participant. There it is. Yep. And the scope. This describes just how wide, like records that are created by only me or anything in the R. I'm going to choose the widest. That's a way of if I wanted to narrow when this workflow runs to only records that I, like this identity, the logged in one, and involved with. Okay, so that's my trigger. That's going to kick it off. Okay, so then the first thing I'm going to do, I want to get the email of the person who is the organizer. Okay, and I think I'm just going to cheat and look here, and I think, yeah, so I need to get the user record for the participant. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So let's go get a record. I'm going to call this, I'll rename it to get the participant. And that's the user. Right, I have this sort of pointer at it in my day of caring participant request. I'm going to go get from the users now these are all the fields that are available in day of caring participant request. And so where is there's my event right here. Oh, there's participant. Okay. So this then lets me look up who they are. And one sort of fun thing I can do here, I'm just going to save that. And I don't know how this is going to go, so I'm going to test it out. Now, since I've saved it, this is an active live workflow right now. I can go and using my app over here, where is it? And actually, an important point is it doesn't matter if I use this admin app to do it, or if I use my Canvas Power App to do it. Either pattern, I'm still listening to the underlying database. Let's request this. So I'm creating a new request record. Great. And so my workflow now over here, let's go look at it. it started and it ran. Okay, sweet. So let's go look at it and see what happened in that run. So it ran successfully. So I got a record. Here's all its details, right? So there's the user and it's requested. And so these are all the relationships there. And I want to go get, who is this participant? I'm getting out of users. And I get a lot. There's a blob of junk coming out of Active Directory. These are all the fields available on this this record. Okay. Awesome. Good. So now I want to send mail somewhere. I want to say, you know what? I want here. Let's edit this workflow to raise this approval. So we're going to say, you know what, I'm going to have to get the organizer as well. So let's add that step. We're going to get a record. We'll call this, rename, get the organizer out of users. There's my users and the same kind of pattern. And it wasn't participants, it was, I don't have the organizer. You know what? I need another thing. I need to get the associated event record out of this, because the organizer is attached to the event, not to, if I go look here, this is the context of the record I listened to. I want to look up the event so I can get the organizer out of it. So I'm going to get this record and then the organizer. So I can get the organizer's name or details or anything. So let's get a record of Day of Caring events. And its item ID is the event value out of this. Okay, great. And now with that, I can get the organizer out of users. And then see, I'm getting a growing list of things here. And this is, where's the organizer? Super, let's save that. Okay, so now I've got all of these going. This is looking good. Let's test that again. Okay, I'm not gonna create a new record again. I will just use the value from before. So I'm gonna sort of replay this flow from the last time it was run, but now within its new definition. Okay, so I got a record. Yep, oh, there's the event for venue improvements. Awesome. There's the organizer that I just got. And now there's the participants. Now I have all the inputs that I need to be able to kick off this approval process. All right, so let's edit this workflow and add a approval. So an approval is a very, very useful kind of business process. I'm going to start it and wait for it. And we're going to say, there are a number of patterns. I'm going to say just, you can approve it or you can reject it. I only need one person. I could have a list of approvers or like, excuse me, interesting complex logic under that. But we're going to do the simple one. Okay, so the title, that's going to show up as the subject. New Day of Caring participant. Please approve. Please review, perhaps. And who's it going to be assigned to? The organizer, I think, right? So where's my, we just had get the participant. I go to the get. There's a lot of fields in Active Directory. Get the organizer. All right, so the organizer has a preferred email. Okay, that's a person, great. Details, you have a new participant. For event, let's go get the event details, okay. Where is it? Oh my goodness, there's a lot there. Okay. Okay, get a record. Yeah. Okay, so this is the event. So there's the event name. And let's get the participant name as well, right? So that would be way up. Oh, get the participant. Super. And they have a name of some sort, don't they? I think we call it first name, last name. Yeah. And last name. Great. Okay. And you could grab in and reach all sorts of please approve or reject their participation. So if our organizer says thumbs up, I like this person, they're coming in, we are going to do something different than if they say no. So let's do a new conditional step now. So we call this a control step, okay? And I'm gonna say if the outcome of the approval is equal to approve. Now that's the default thing. If you did a custom one, you could use a different word here. If yes, what are we gonna do? Well, we're going to mail them, I think. Okay, we're gonna send them a mail that says, welcome, or something like that, right? Who? Well, it's the participant mail, right? So let's go find where that is. Dynamic content. And so there's the primary email of the participant. Okay, thanks. We look forward. And then, of course, this is, you can get all of the details out of it, right? Like the location or get a record. It was just there, wasn't it? Yeah. Like the event name in neighborhood, right? Super. Great. If no, yeah, we should do sort of the same thing and say, oh, so sorry, right? Send a mail to who? The participant mail saying, sorry, we couldn't. And the approver can say, there's an approver comments like that. So we could do that and say, like, explain why. All right, so let's test this out. All right, my 6-year-old son wants a hug, so we're gonna do that. And then he's gonna find something else to do, right? Awesome, thank you, good sir. Okay, so yeah, let's test this out via the same logic from the past run, okay? And let's see how it goes this time. And I don't always get it right, and you won't the first time either. So, oh, something went wrong. Start and wait for approval. Assigned to is missing or empty. Well, let's take a look, see what went wrong, okay? So let's look at assigned to and see what that was defined as. So assigned to preferred email apparently is not the right field there. Let's go dig that out there. Okay, get the participant. Oh no, I don't want to get the participant. I want the get the organizer. You know what? I actually remember this. It is username. Primary mail. Yeah, let's do that actually. And I think I need to do it this way too. Yeah, primary mail. Maybe I did that right there. Okay, let's save and test that. And I don't mind getting it wrong because, I mean, it shows you how to debug it and go through it. So let's run the last trigger. Okay, start and wait for an approval. Okay, so now what's happening? I'm waiting 8 seconds and I'm stuck in this state because I need to go and see and actually pick up the approval and action it. How do I do that? I'm going to go out to my mailbox. And is it running? Let's see. Don't see mail yet. Do you see mail yet? I don't. Let's go look. I'm going to look one other place if I can, which is our approvals center. And we're going to go here. And where are we? So I'm going to go to Power Automate. Action items, approvals. Okay. So have I gotten a, no. Okay, I don't need any of that. Oh, I'm in the wrong environment. Let's go to the right place. Let's go to the environment that I was in. This will populate in a second. I've got a lot of environments here. All right, okay. There's that and my approvals. Interesting. Not here. Okay. Let's see. Connection approvals. It's thinking about it. It's trying to run. Let's see. I wonder what happens next. You know what? I'm going to give that a few times. This is the first time I've used this environment, and it can take a few minutes to provision first. What I'm going to do while that runs is I'm going to build out the logic for updating the record, because I haven't done that yet. And we have, how long do we have? We got 15 minutes left, so yeah, I can do that. Okay. So if yes, send the mail, okay? And then let's commit an update to the record. So I'm gonna update a record. And if we think about it, I need to update the event record and add a number to the committed number. I also need to update the participant request and change his field to approved. Let's do both those things. Okay. So day of caring participants. Okay. Which item? It was the first one, which is here. And I'm going to look at day of caring participants. Yep. And the thing I'm updating is the approval. We're going to say it's approved. Okay. Next, I'm going to update a record. Where is it? Update a record. I'm going to go to the day of caring events. Yep. And which item is that? If I'm not wrong, it was from get a record way back here. Okay. There was get a record, yes. Day of caring event. The thing I want to update, I want the committed number to be incremented. So I could do a little bit of math. And so we have an expression language here. I can start with something simple. I can sort of cheat. And I'm going to call it like this, okay? So I actually don't know the name of that. Let's learn what the committed record is. And I'll do that by get the participant. Sorry, get a record. Committed, what is that? That is this thing. Outputs, get a record, body, CR8CD committed, whatever, right? Cool. Let's edit that expression now. And unfortunately, I actually don't know how to do this. Get record, so I just type it I'm sure there's a nice way to do it, but I don't mind. And then body, very good. Oh, I need a quote. Body. C-R-A-C. That's just a namespace, so things don't collide when you're doing things with other people. So that's fine, but I want to do something a little more. I want to add a number to it. So I'm going to add this expression and 1. Okay. So add that, comma 1. Okay. So I've got this nice expression. Let's see if it works. My approval, is it still running, he asks. Let's just refresh this. Still no, interesting. Yeah, it takes about 10 minutes the first time, and I apologize for not having warmed that up already. We can run through the rest of the logic without that. Let me just see here. Here we are, okay. Yes, on the negative side, I'm gonna want to update the record in the rejected way as well, right? So I'm gonna update a record and day of carrying participants. I can go find it, get the participant, yes. And it was, oh no, I don't want that. Let's go all the way to the top, zoom, 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 and the participant, Dave carrying participants, yep. And we're just gonna put in the word rejected there, okay. So I think we have our whole business process here. And yeah, let's see, if I go back here, this is still, yeah, it's running and it takes about 10 minutes. So I think this is a good checkpoint. I'd love to sort of complete the loop and show the mail coming in and the approval working. Let's kick off another, so that I have another record or two waiting for us. So I'll request all 3 of them. Okay, there, and there, excellent. I'm gonna be everywhere at once, right? So let's go back here. I refresh this. Okay, so it's all running. It's thinking. And would you look at that? I've got mail. Let's look at our mailbox. Okay, oh wow, 3 of them just came in. Let's look, okay. So I have a new participant request for interior painting. Let's approve myself. Okay, so here we are. Thank you. Confirm that. Great, done. Let's review the next one. Okay, I'm gonna reject this. You signed up for something else. Can't be 2 places at once. Okay, so great. Let's look at each of these, and I'll reject this one as well. Already committed, something like that. Okay, so we can look at the run history of these now. If I just refresh this, sorry, did it work? Did it not? Let's find out. There's my run history. Okay, all of these ran. Let's pick one of them so I can see sort of the outcome of how it went down. All right, wait for an approval. This one was rejected. So I took which branch of the condition? I took this branch, the no branch, right? And I updated it saying it is, in here will be the word reject somewhere. All right, Similarly, if I go on one of the successful ones, I should be able to see the other conditional branch. Oh no, this one was rejected as well. Okay, how about the top one? This one. No, we did that as well. Hold on, I rejected, there's reject. Great. 1, 2, 3, did I look at this one? Reject, oh, maybe it's the middle one, oh, sorry. Okay, I realize we have 5 minutes left, so I'll try and wrap things up. Okay. Approve, okay, yeah, so the middle one was approve, and we took the other branch, great. And we updated the record to say that, well, I mean, buried in here is gonna be the committed, the updated committed value. Maybe in here, actually. Interior painting, great. Super. You know what, I'm not gonna squint at that. Let's go and actually use the app. Let's refresh this, we can look at it, right? So interior painting, now it's 2 people, awesome. Venue improvements, none, and window washing, just 1, perfect. Okay, so, and here, oh yeah, there, so I'm getting my mails back saying, sorry, we couldn't approve it, and there's my, yes, you're in. All right. So is this working? This is sort of like the end of the process. I just want to review what we've done. Okay. So we did, oh, I didn't get to Power BI. Oh, so sad. Yes, okay. Well, I'm gonna apologize. Power BI is fun to build up, but we're gonna have to save that for another session. And I think that what I can do is I'm gonna link in our Slack channel details on how you can build a report like this on that data set, okay? So yeah, we did each of these and it's looking pretty good. It's working okay, I think. I hope you found that useful and informative. Yeah, I think next steps here are certainly, if you go to our Slack channel, you'll see that trial sign up link so you can get a tenant and start building this stuff. And yeah, I promise to send along a resource that lets you see how to build a Power BI report out of this data set. Okay. I'm just going to pop up here to the chat and see how we're going here. 10-minute warning, indeed, indeed. Any questions from any of you? Any topic? I'll try and field it. And yeah, if you want to ask over voice, you're welcome to unmute and ask that way.
So Joe, will there be an opportunity for you to show the one tool that you weren't able to get to? Maybe we can arrange another meeting if anybody cares. So they can reach out to you on Slack maybe and let you know, I think we can coordinate something with the people who are interested. Yeah, actually I have an easier pattern. What I'll do, it'll be about a 10-minute recording and I will post that to the Slack. So I'll build that up following the session so that it's just a video that you can see. And it'll sort of complete the picture so that you get to see that reporting process. Does that sound good? Yes, and I want to say that I could practically feel like I could build an app from this. So thank you very much. Super, yeah, that was the intent. I mean, I realize I may have gone I'm showing familiarity with the tools, of course, but the idea is that, yeah, if you had an environment yourself, that you should be able to run through this in the same sort of structure, hopefully with a schema relevant to the workload that you care about, right? Build something that's actually attacking a problem of your own or one of the challenges rather than this this invented scenario. But that's the deal. That's the Power Platform. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. Can you pass the screen back to me? Absolutely, there you go. I don't want to brutalize you by taking it from you. No problem, there you are. Thank you. Hang on one second while I get my screen back up. So, Joe, I will say it again, that was fabulous. I really was impressed by your presentation. And I see so many applications that could be used there. So I hope some of our participants decide to dabble and play and see what they figure out for our event. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you sharing this, and thank you for the plan to do the 10-minute recording of the application that you didn't get to today.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was, thanks for hosting. This is our pleasure. And yeah, sorry I didn't squeeze it in, but I'll get that last bit posted to Slack shortly.
That's the way these things go. So it's just fine. Thank you.
Sure thing. Thanks all. Thanks for the participation.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I do want to reiterate, let's go back to, I want to reaffirm that this event and these kinds of workshops all year have been the result of the hard work of the Enterprise Technology Services for the state of Hawaii and the governor. Without their support, these events and the big event overall would not have been happening. So when we're back on presentation day, I hope that all of you will acknowledge the governor and Doug and his team for the great events that we've been having all year. Now, back to our agenda. Okay, so that was our morning presentation. Again, Joe Clancy, thank you so much, and Microsoft for being a sponsor of this year's event. Up next will be our challenge meeting with the challenge sponsors. Today we have, but before we get into that, I want to just do a couple of important announcements. Challenge sponsors will open up shortly, and then we're scheduled to end around noon. If the challenge sponsors need to have a little extra time, to let me know. And challenge sponsors, I'm going to please ask you to try to remember to record your sessions so that we can share those, all the great questions that were asked in the rooms for people who were not able to make it today. Up next, I just want to, again, for those of you who are here, my slide's not switching, even though I'm hitting the button. There we go. I want to reiterate timing. Last night at 5 p.m. was the close of team formation. If you were somebody who had trouble, you have until Monday at 5 to let me know what happened, and then I will help you get your team set up if that is necessary. So slight modification of the team deadline, but that's for exceptions only. So please reach out to me at Thelma Elaine on Slack. Challenge declaration day, and that's referring to, if you haven't already, if you're like looking at 2 or 3 different challenges, I need your final decision on which challenge you're going to code for by next Saturday at 5 p.m. Technical reviews will begin. That helps me build up the scoring sheets. The technical review will begin on November 11th at 9 a.m. Teams announcements will be 1 week later on November 8th, Wednesday. We will have pitch rehearsals for all invited teams, approximately from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday, the 20th. And then, of course, judging and presentation day will be the following day from 9:30 to 2 p.m. I do want to remind everybody, there's a little microphone on the bottom of your screen for muting and unmuting and turning your camera on and off, particularly in the challenge sponsor rooms. You probably want to keep your camera on and your microphone on. The rooms will be fewer, smaller groups, and usually in smaller groups, it's better to have those things on for the most part. We will be having, the screen will be showing up shortly with the, as you can see here, the breakout room link at the bottom. When you click that link, the breakout rooms in progress screen will show up, and then a join button should happen. If you don't see this button, or if you don't see the join link, you will need to talk to Sheila and I about being put in the room manually. Again, you will have needed to have upgraded. We hope most of you did this either last week or during the week to 5.3, and you cannot be in a browser version. You have to be on a desktop version. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to challenge sponsors. Our challenge sponsors that are here today are the First Lady Dawn Amano Ige Connections Hawaii State Resource Directory. Mamari Hall and Catherine Korinaga are here. University of Hawaii Visualization Campus Occupancy During and After COVID-19. Garrett Yoshimi is here. University of Hawaii Building Security App. Michael Hodges is here. Nick Hawaii for the COVID-19 chatbot. Janet Pick and Jenly Chen are here. And then ETS, the Enterprise Technology Services. And everybody should at least pop in there, if nothing else, and thank Catherine for in lieu of the rest of the team, and the fact that they're also participating with a challenge this year. Kayamana Bingham will be here today. If you would be so kind as to open the rooms, and I'll have a few more announcements to when we get back from the challenge sponsors around noon. So please plan to stick around for at least 5 or 10 minutes after that so I can make my additional announcements. Thank you.
Okay, rooms are opening. So everyone should see breakout rooms come up. Feel free to roam freely between all of the rooms. And if any challenge SMEs are still in the main room, please get with me. You should have been automatically moved. Anyone remaining in the main room that does not see breakout rooms, please either chat or unmute your mic.
Also, if you have any questions for the chat, me, and Sheila as the HACC chairs this year, please pop into this room or stay in this room for a brief minute to ask your questions of the event. Thank you.
Okay, so I do see some movement.
Elijah says it says waste to be assigned to breakout room.
Who is this? Elijah?
Medeiros.
Oh, I'm sorry. It says wait to be assigned. Okay, so Elijah, where do you want to go? You can unmute or you can write it in the chat. And then Blade, I'll move you to ETS. Blade, you should be gone. Elijah, chat box. That's NIC. Elijah, you should be gone. I want to join Justin. I want to join resource. Justin Eugene. And you got connections. You should be gone. Thank you. Again, you can unmute as well, or chat will be fine as well. Just don't want to miss anybody. Elijah, you're gone. Awesome. Anybody else? Mr. Paul? Leanne had 2. Oh, here's some. Still don't see breakout rows. Paul Pratt, where do you want to go, Paul? And Andrew, I got you going to ETS. You should be gone. Paul, campus, okay. Have fun, Paul. All right.
Hey, Blaze or Daniel, do you need to go somewhere or are you sticking around here?
I will be here, Blaze. Thanks.
Daniel, are you sticking around with us or you want to go somewhere else? Sheila, I'm pausing recording at the moment.
Okay.